Kata, thanks very much. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you so much for giving up your precious time here live in Dubai at COP28, and also for those watching online. As Kata said, my name's Alexander Holt, and I work for the Scottish Government. For the past 8 years, I've been involved in public sector innovation, and it's been my joy to engage with far-thinking public servants who are wanting to push the boundaries of what is possible in policy delivery, but also engaging with tech entrepreneurs that are pushing the boundaries technologically for what is possible within public sector. So today is, this first session is in 2 parts. The first, we are delighted to be joined by the Vice Minister of Transport and Communication from Lithuania, Ms. Agne Vetsu-Kečytė, and took a bit of practice. And then we'll go into our company pitches. And I'll explain a bit more about that. But if you think about how this is framed, is that this is around public sector innovation and the interaction and collaboration between governments and startups. So the GovTech Global Alliance is a network of like-minded public purpose innovation teams around the world. So we have public sector teams, not-for-profits, and academic institutions. And we recognize that we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to push the boundaries. And in the context of here at COP, we thought there is value and necessity and urgency in us getting together and collaborating. And so for the past 3 years, we put on something called the Global Scale-Up Program. We started it in Glasgow in COP26, then in Egypt, COP27, and here in Dubai for COP28. So selected teams have got together and we've worked with each other, sourcing, surfacing, and scaling climate tech solutions for global public sector application. So that's the context. And Lithuania has been a great partner in this. And so it's my delight to welcome, to talk a bit about innovation, transport, and in the context of climate, Vice Minister. Oh, back. Welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time. Do have a seat. There we are. So, Vice Minister, you know, in terms of the context of what's happening in Lithuania, which as a country that I've visited a couple of times, and Vilnius is an amazing city. Anyone who's not been there, I thoroughly recommend it. It's an amazing European destination. But tell us in the context of Lithuania and climate and innovation in your portfolio of transport, what are the top priorities?
So first of all, thank you very much for having me here. I'm delighted to be among people who understands what innovations can bring, especially to the climate change, what initiatives could be done, and how digitalization, all the innovations in the different variety of sectors can bring us the goals we are all seeking. So in Lithuania, we work a lot on finding solutions to help kind of correspond to the climate crisis. And because I work in the transport sector, so all my efforts are dedicated for that. And one of the huge part of the portfolio is to look into innovations. I think that's nothing new, especially for this informed group of people, that all the transport transition is highly influenced by the innovation process in many kind of parts. And because our ministry is also responsible for the communication side, so all the communications, 5G, 6G. This is a highly huge part of the infrastructure which should be built in order to enhance innovations in the sector or in Lithuania. So this is basically what I'm doing, and because Lithuania come from, you know, very difficult historical background, we do have a lot of challenges as well as other countries to tackle the pollution, CO2 emissions, and there is a lot of investments put into enhancing these efforts to make a huge change, but it's just the beginning. Yeah. So that is why we are happy to be here in COP together with the minister, and I think that innovation part is a huge part in our DNA, and we invest a lot in it. And I would like to share with one of the initiatives. It's a sandbox initiative. We just launched 24 million euros for startup companies to innovate and to find the solutions on the 5G networks in Lithuania. Obviously, enhancing, you know, solutions to the transport sector and diminishing the pollution levels. So we are very happy because we were preparing for this for the last 3 years, and I remember that in Glasgow, I first explained about that initiative, and now we are here, and they already had 54 applications for this innovation program. And more than together with the startup community, we raised more or less around 36 million euros. So we hope to see the results in near future because the projects are out there.
Is that open to companies from out with Lithuania?
It was open to everyone,
yeah.
But now it's finished, and we have the great results. We have very strong projects that will be deployed in Lithuania in different areas. So I hope this will help us to create a value chain where you're not only enhancing from the government side innovations, but you're creating the infrastructure and creating like first push investments to do so.
And I think, you know, this is all really interesting in terms of company product growth. So a market like Lithuania, which is quite small, but is the springboard to other markets within both Europe and internationally. And I was in London a few weeks ago and was delighted to host a Lithuanian delegation of public sector officials who were in various innovation posts, and it was down at Scotland House, London. And what you got a sense of was this real appetite for doing things differently. These were not, shall we say, classic civil servants who they were wanting to do things differently. So how have you engendered that different mindset? How have you brought that entrepreneurial mindset into the public sector? Because that's really key for progressing public services.
Well, I think everything starts from the people in the government. I think that's really important to kind of support, and we have GovTech Lithuanian Lab, which is already showed so many great results within our sector, and we as a ministry love to participate, not always successfully in that program because it's a very, you know, highly organized program, but we definitely show our GovTech Lithuanian Lab as one of the projects that already showed great results. In general. And I think that there is a lot of, as you mentioned, a lot of understanding that we will not make changes without innovating in the public sector, and that this is the only one way for such a, as you mentioned, not a very big by population country to make a change. And I think people are right in doing so in Lithuania, and I think if the governing helps, or at least not trying to lower the enthusiasm from the society and from the businesses, then you can see the right results. And I'm just very delighted with this Scottish initiative in general, and I'm very surprised that it was only established in 2019, something around that period. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a journey of taking that entrepreneurial mindset into government and then seeing how you can get civil servants to think differently.
Why I'm saying so? Because when we came into government, we already had like GovTech, and for me it's so natural. I feel like it was for a very long time before. So I'm just really surprised by how important in the whole value chain of innovation GovTech Global Alliance could be, and I think that in COP this is the right place to talk about these innovations, especially in the public sector, where we are lacking a lot of resources.
Well, and we were delighted to announce with the World Bank a few days ago that the GovTech Global Alliance would be partnering with them for delivering a program of innovation to public sector teams around the world as part of their GovTech network. Now, the reason we're talking about GovTech and what's that relation, what's the connection with climate? Well, if you think about GovTech as delivering of services to government, that might be transport, communications, health, cyber, environment, water, energy. And so this broad umbrella of disruptive technology for governments is why we interlink. COP is the overlap between that broad umbrella of disruptive government services and the climate tech agenda. And so just to kind of wrap up, in terms of the transport, we've talked a bit about your 5G initiative and the considerable investment you put in there for startups. What's happening on the transport sector?
Well, the other half of the whole time I'm spending is, to greening transport sector or to invest in infrastructure. I think that this is the COP is not the place where we need to convince somebody that the transition should be there. I think that the whole efforts from the government is to focus on building new infrastructure for alternative fuels, for hydrogen, for all the innovations possible to, because the problem is that at the same time, while we're building something very new, everything is innovating at the same time. So the value chains are disrupted all the time. So this is kind of a tricky situation where you're focusing on, buying new buses, public transport, all, heavy-duty vehicles, all the innovations, looking around what could be that disruption that would help for the countries where the pollution levels from transport sector is so high. And so it's quite a challenging, but as well, it's always an opportunity. It's an opportunity to create new innovative businesses. Within Lithuania country, we've never were very famous of our transport sector, but within this huge transition, there is a lot of opportunity for everyone. And I hope, because there is no way around it, that all these initiatives will finally show for the broader public, the result. Because now, when we are, discussing in these informed companies of people, we do see the understanding. But the problem is when you are going out to the broader society to explain the value of it. So this is what I'm looking for now. It's not to talk about what could be done, but now take actions and see maybe a little bit of results on the broader scale to prove that it works, that innovations, is a huge part, and especially in the public sector.
Vice Minister Vekirjeva-Turte, thank you so much for your time just now. Great to get that insight from Lithuania, and just to iterate that strong relationship, that particularly from Scottish Government and Lithuanian Government, is a delight. So thank you.
So thank you very much.
Great. So we live in an interconnected world, and collaboration is the only way forward. So how might we be that little bit better off if we found, say, a compact farming solution that was in Nigeria and we could make it succeed in Australia? Or a water offsetting management platform developed in the UK could then set up and launch in Brazil? And what if an early warning insect infestation system developed in Hungary could succeed in Nigeria? And what if it was these government innovation teams that could provide that platform for innovation? And that's the premise behind the GovTech Global Alliance. As I mentioned earlier, it's to source, surface, and scale climate tech solutions for global public sector applications. And this is what these are the partners in taking part in this year's program. And I should say particular thanks, obviously, to GovTech Lab and also the Government of South Australia and Innovate UK, who have helped fund this particular program in Dubai. So our real thanks to them on behalf of the Scottish Government as well. And our members span government teams, you can see, across North America, South America, across Europe, getting into Africa, and certainly strong relationships in South Australia and New Zealand. And that's just one side of it. But actually what we're here to do is give companies a platform. It's to give them the opportunity to know and learn how to sell into public sector better, but also here in Dubai at COP28 is to have a global platform for growth. And you think, well, what can governments, as we were talking with the Vice Minister earlier, what can governments learn from entrepreneurs? Well, there is this entrepreneurial mindset. And it's something that I learned from when I ran my company and then went into government. And it's that sense of persistence, resilience, and urgency. Persistence to move forward, resilience to take the flak, and urgency to get results. And in the context of COP and climate, there is no greater urgency than dealing with the global challenges we face. So you'll shortly see a combination of rapid 2.5-minute pitches by companies with solutions that look at finance, policy, and planning, biodiversity management, agri-food, and water, as well as the circular economy. And our ask of you is this, that you in the room and watching online, you might not be the right person to speak to. But I absolutely get that your networks will be huge, and within them, there will be the right person to speak to. So our ask of you is this: catch up with the companies afterwards, speak to them, contact them, and engage. So, with that said, let's kick off. And the first person I'd like to introduce up on stage is a man who's made his home in Scotland from the Netherlands, and who grew up in livestock farming, but now taken a very different take on meat production. So, Ernst, on stage. Please welcome Ernst van Zouw.
Thank you, Alexander. So in my hands, I have a vial with animal stem cells. These cells have the capacity to make more meat than all livestock on Earth today. So cultivated meat is meat grown directly from animal cells without the need to raise animals. The promise is massive. We can lower antibiotic use, improve animal welfare, and reduce the environmental footprint of meat production. To make the best cultivated meat, you need to start with the best ingredients, and those are the cells. At ClimateTech, we are the first to deliver high-quality animal stem cells to the cultivated meat producers globally. My name is Ernst, and I'm leading ClimateTech. ClimateTech, for background, we were spun out from the Roslin Institute, which is the Animal Science Institute of the University of Edinburgh, and most famous for the invention of Dolly the sheep. She was the first cloned mammal that existed on the Earth, and it was a major breakthrough in stem cell technology. And today we want to be once again at the forefront of stem cell innovation. Cultivated meat was only invented 10 years ago, and the first burger cost more than $300,000 to make. That's quite expensive for a supermarket. But since then, billions of dollars have been poured in, big meat producers are stepping in, and the first regulatory approvals have been achieved. So today, what does it take to make cells or cultivated meat safe, nutritious, and affordable? You need to start with high-quality cells, and that's what we do. Our cells can self-renew forever, can differentiate into any tissue, and can grow into cultivated meat. So what our cells can do, let me illustrate it with an example. Our cells double every 24 hours. So I have 1 cell on day 1, I have 2 on day 2, and I have 4 on day 3. After 42 days, I have enough cells to fill a bottle, and after 63 days, I have enough cells to fill a whole swimming pool. That's enough to feed Dubai for a week. We make these cells available to cultivated meat producers globally, and what our vision is that these cells become once the foundation for burgers in the United States, sausages in Europe, dumplings in Asia, and lamb kebabs here in the Middle East. At Roslin-Tech, we believe that a single cell can make a world of difference. Thank you.
Great. Think a swimming pool after 64 days to feed the whole of Dubai. I mean, some amazing stats around this. So, keeping on the Scottish theme, but from meat cultivation to plastics recycling, and in fact reinventing it. And Tom and I caught up quite a bit before coming here, and just the technology behind this is absolutely incredible. And understanding the difference, it was an education for me to understand quite how the recycling industry works for plastics and why it's so inefficient. But what Tom is about to present is an absolute game changer. Please welcome to stage Tom Rose from Reventus.
Thank you very much. Good morning, I'm Tom Rose. I'm the CEO and founder of Reventus. Reventus is a solvent-based recycling technology. That means we're able to take the mixed, contaminated, and colored waste plastic you see on the left and turn it directly back into a virgin-like natural product that can go back into high-value applications. 1 million tons of plastic is produced every day, enough to fill the Burj Khalifa. Yet even after all the initiatives we've had over the last decade, less than 10% is recycled. The reason for that ultimately comes down to the waste itself. It's contaminated, it's dirty, it has color in it. And so the very best we can do is turn this into a black pellet. And that has to be downcycled because the material properties aren't very good, and it ends up in park benches, flower pots, and there are only so many of these that we need. The rest of the material is low value, and so is incinerated or landfilled. What we're able to do is strip out all of the color, all of the contaminants, the odors, and modify the material properties to meet the end user applications. And in doing that, we produce a natural virgin-like pellet that can go back into food applications, can go back into automotive, can go back into textiles, and into consumer products as well. It's absolutely essential that we get recycling right. If we don't, we need to produce more virgin plastic, and for every kilogram of virgin plastic produced, 2 kilograms of CO2 are emitted. If that's then incinerated, a further 3 kilograms is produced, so 5 in total. Reventus can take a large portion of this material and put it directly back into the economy. And in doing that, we can reduce the carbon footprint of our plastics by 90%. That will have a huge impact on the carbon emissions globally. So what are we looking for from COP? We're looking to meet investors to join us on our journey. We're looking to meet strategic partners, such as petrochemical companies producing polymers, recyclers, brands, and we're also looking to sign offtake agreements with collaborators as well to get our material into the marketplace. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good COP.
Well done. Thanks very much, Tom. Yes, and you'll see all the QR codes for the companies on just to take a snap, and you can go directly to their site. So, we've had 2 from Scotland. It's now time to go for 11,000 miles around the world and to, in fact, not yet. We will go to a video from Nigeria, where this piece of technology is around helping farmers get better source to water. And if you think about Nigeria as a landmass and the population which is growing, food production is key. So here's Matthias talking about Spunvertec.
Good day, everyone. My name is Matthias Ame, and I'm the founder and CEO of Spunvertec Limited. Spunvertec is a renewable energy technology developing company that designs and manufactures stand-alone solar water pumping systems for irrigation farming in Nigeria. We are addressing the problem of inadequate water supply to irrigation farms in Nigeria. Our solution is a device that is designed to power all types of water pumping systems. This product is designed, made and manufactured in Nigeria and is made primarily for irrigation water supply and drinking water supply systems. It comes with remote monitoring and soil sensor embedded into it for controlled irrigation. Our revenue model is based on a lease-to-own payment method, whereby farmers don't need to pay any upfront cost to acquire our systems. One of our machines can be able to cover up to 6 hectares of farmland, and we are collecting 5 bags of rice per hectare of farmland. We also provide equipment sales, which serves as hardware as a service for our revenue model. Spunvertec team comprised of me, Ame Matthias, as the CTO and founder. I own a BSc in physics with an MSc in physics with electronics and instrumentation. I'm also an embedded systems engineer with certification in electronic circuitry. Also in our team is David Kelechi, who is a co-founder and also the COO. He owns a bachelor in engineering on electrical electronics engineering and also a Korean certified engineer. He's also a renewable energy technology expert. One of our co-founders is also a female who serves as the chief marketing officer on our team. We would like to speak to investors to assist with our scaling plans and also to farming cooperatives to help their communities of rural farmers in Nigeria, since we aim to move to other parts of the world. Thank you.
So that was Matthias Ame speaking. Can you just put that slide back up, his last one, please? Just the QR code at the end. There we are. So I want to just pick up this thing, farming cooperatives. See a number of technologies, and we had AgriCity yesterday, and we had Donut yesterday with his MapLab. Farming cooperatives are really key because it's about helping, we're connecting in with groups that have these wide networks. And that's what we aim to do with this program, is bring and connect people together. So, so Matthias and his team are on an absolute scaling journey, but this is key. So if anyone knows any farming cooperatives, please either get in touch with myself or Matthias. Great. Next. So now we'll go from Nigeria over, try to do the calculation on miles from Nigeria to Australia, but it's a lot. And so the first of our Australian teams that we will welcome. So next on stage, please welcome Marco Salinas from Hubble.
Thank you, Alexander. And thank you to the Government of South Australia for this amazing opportunity. My name is Marco Salinas. I'm co-founder at Hubble, a South Australian startup company that is building technology to take property energy efficiency at scale with the use of artificial intelligence. We strongly believe that properties will have to meet specific minimum requirements on energy efficiency way far before 2050. And energy efficiency is extremely complicated. You cannot imagine, and I will try to give you an example. And the main entities in charge of this transition is real estate, construction, and particularly government. To try to explain you how complex energy efficiency could be, imagine that you are in charge of building a sustainable property. Then you will have to consider many different factors, such as the climate, the orientation of the block, different insulation levels, and very quickly you get into the order of billions of potential scenarios, where it's extremely complicated to find that sweet spot, the perfect combination between energy efficiency, comfort at the lowest cost. And once you analyze the entire set of possibilities, you might find that building a sustainable house, it is not as expensive as you might find. Now, this is just for one house. Now, imagine that you are a developer in charge of building hundreds of homes. How do you allocate those resources? Or imagine that you are a governmental entity and you are in charge of allocating resources for maintenance programs for social housing, where vulnerable communities will need the most for climate adaptation. How do you guarantee that the allocation of resources is in the best shape? Our value proposition is quite simple. We predict energy efficiency with a minimum number of variables. Then we provide a list of the assets in a way that actually makes sense, with showcasing the energy efficiency risk. And then after that, we provide upgrade paths, the optimal solution either for new builds or for renovations. We provide, with our unique technology, not just energy efficiency, but we talk about climate adaptation, and we generate reports individually for each one of these assets. So far, we have been running just for 2 years, but we are going really fast. We have been able to engage tier 1 and tier 2 companies. We have been able to engage more than 20 local governments in South Australia, and this is just the starting. Our team is composed by experts in energy efficiency with more than 20 years of experience in this area. The market size is huge, and we have already raised 1.2 million. We have an offer from a venture capital firm, and we're here to connect with people with really good understanding on real estate construction, and particularly for those governments that they are running maintenance programs for social housing. So please feel free to connect. You will find a really cool video behind this QR code. So thank you very much.
Well done. Thank you. Good. And also from South Australia, we this solution, when you start seeing the pictures and the stats, will slightly, blow your mind. It was great catching up. It's been great, getting to know all the teams over the past 2 months. But Kale's insight on the whole issue around, data and what that means for water management companies is particularly insightful. So, from Spiral Data Group, please welcome Kale Needham.
Thank you, Alexander. So I'd just like to say how important it is to have water sustainability at the top of COP. That's critical for innovative companies like ours to further validate the journey. So this is Melbourne, Australia, the driest continent on Earth. This is 2 million litres of water that was lost due to water hammer. And our AI can solve it. So our purpose is to maximise our most precious resource, water. So water pipes fail and water hammer travels up to 1,000 metres per second. This accumulates fatigue results in reduced asset life, and then cracks, leaks, and breaks. So the global average for daily use per person per day is up to 300 litres. However, there's half to two-thirds of the same amount is lost in delivering that water, otherwise known as non-revenue water. So the business case is really clear to solve water hammer. So it lowers cost, it improves asset life, improves customer service, but most importantly, it reduces water loss, which improves water security. So the challenges, sensor companies haven't been very good at solving this. Big data and AI hasn't been mature enough. And so that combined means that they haven't been able to identify the root cause of water hammer. So our solution, co-designed with water utilities in Australia, has algorithms that are highly accurate. We're looking at 98% accurate. We have software that's embedded with machine learning that's easy to use, but we rely on partners who provide the sensors. But this is the opportunity. So to build our own sensor with an all-in-one offering. And what this means is we can take our proven algorithms from the cloud and put them at the edge. This will deliver a faster, more reliable and cost-effective solution. So we have good traction. We're up to 300% revenue growth. Importantly, we've solved the problem with water utilities in Australia. And we're a national award winner for sustainability and artificial intelligence. So the ask, we're currently in a seed round. We've shortlisted, but we're open to other investment. We're looking to raise $2 million US, but we're also interested in trial customers, so particularly globally. So we have a footprint in Australia, and these customers would have drinking water infrastructure and a desire to achieve better water security. If you are an investor or a potential customer or you know of, please scan, I'll move out the way, please scan the QR code to the left. If you're interested in keeping up to date with our progress, please scan the QR code to the right. Thank you.
Okay, well done. Thank you. Yes, just some of the stats there around water usage and quite how much we waste as a result. So, we will go from Australia over, depends which way you go, round the Pacific over to Brazil, where we were joined by a team that have just a great take on a really important matter in biodiversity. And so, and in terms of, female founder team and a growing, scaling company, I'm delighted to welcome to the stage Elaine Basso and Alexandra Mantuani. And this is from GeoApis.
Thank you, Alex. Okay. Qual que vai para frente, Alex? Which one go for? Oh, this one. Okay. Thank you, Alex. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a pleasure for us to be here, show about a little bit what we do. I am Alexander, and she is Elaine. We are from GeoApis, a Brazilian startup that has a SaaS for prevent and mitigate bee mortality surrounding agriculture areas. Just at the top of here, too many papers. Improving our communication among stakeholders, we aim for a sustainable agriculture. Mapping and georeferencing sensitive areas, we can analyze and classification of risks for collecting here. We collect field information generate data for better take decisions of the measurement of chemicals spraying on areas. What? Foi muito? No, passou, pulou. I really, too many things in my hands. I little lost for this. No, this is above here. With our reports, we help project development for biodiversity credits and public policies and communication. Here, okay. We are proud to say that our customers already achieve zero bee mortality on their areas, and we are leading them to be green companies. We invite you to be part of our hives and save the world together. That's it.
I just stay on stage for a bit, because I think we're just going to, could you put the slides back on? Because I just want to just come to this bit, because I know that we've talked through this, and well done. It's always it's tricky when you've got things and it's different language. The thing about this is that, and this is what we unearthed when we were chatting through, was that you've got these three sets of customer bases. So you've got these bee farmers with the hives that are then able to create these biodiversity credits, which means that, and then investors have an opportunity to get involved. So there's the financial bit. You then also, with the agribusiness, is that you're able to help them understand when to spray and when not to spray. So you're reducing the costs of the spraying and the operational use there. But also, there's an education piece here with government, that it's about helping governments and their policy and understanding their biodiversity policy. And so it's a really interesting mix of how you take the purpose of saving the bee, which of course is essential to our pollination and our food production, but how you create the mechanisms of protection around that through developing financial, technology, and policy positions. And so that's why GAP is such a groundbreaking and important tool. And so in terms of the key people that you want to speak to here at COP, tell me a little bit more about them.
Well, we are here looking for investors, of course, to help us on the scale, and agriculture companies that we can discuss a little bit more about environmental and protection bees and pollinators. We say a lot of bees, but also pollinators is involved once we are talking about reducing chemical spraying on our agriculture areas. And of course, we have Elaine better more than me, but we have amazing knowledge to help on public policies that we are already doing in São Paulo state and also in Brazil. So we can add value with many things. And also because what I know from Brazil is that we already have established what we call payment for ecosystems products that we already have established. So bees and pollinators keeps one of the points. So we already have also some expertise on this that we can help.
Great, good. So it's agribusiness,
Yeah,
people policy, and government policy. Brilliant. Elaine, Alexander, thank you very much. Okay, so from Brazil over to Israel, where Michal will talk a bit about their water waste management solution.
I'm Michal Wimmer-Luria, the CEO of Our Place. In our place, we turn natural wastewater treatment solutions into an economical and impactful assets. 80% of the world's wastewater is released to the environment without treatment, and wastewater treatment plants are responsible for more than 3% of GHG emissions globally. However, nature has a solution for wastewater treatment and purification. That is treatment wetlands. Our place helps stakeholders understand the efficiency and effectiveness of their treatment wetlands assets. Treatment wetlands are useful for all types of wastewater without any byproduct as odor and mosquitoes. Our place MRV, that is a measure, report, and verify system, helps investors and developers to understand the value and effectiveness of their investments. Our place MRV system collects data by the most advanced monitoring technologies and translates it into carbon and impact certifications and water reuse reports. In addition, it gives notifications, optimization recommendations, predictions, and statistics. We work with wastewater treatment plants, industrial factories, water management bodies, municipalities, and hotels and tourism sites. In our place teams, beside me are Hadas Ganot Dotan, our COO, and Yaki Timor, our CTO. We are collaborating with world-leading companies in the field of sustainable and technology. We're looking to collaborate with an industry investment partner to drive the growth of the technology and our company. Thank you very much.
Thank you from our place team.
It's been a joy to get to know that team as well. And again, just really understanding and picking where the value of that business lies. And it's in this water, the credit system that they can create as a result of both the treatment and the offsetting. So a really interesting model looking to work with, and I did ask them about having wastewater near hotels and complexes. I didn't think that quite worked together. But because it was odorless and you don't see it because it's reed beds, they said it's ideal. So again, for hotel and hospitality, it's a great solution. So we'll continue with a second video. We'll move a little bit north west to Greece, where Christos will talk a bit about his Intellig system, which is for building energy management.
Hi, my name is Christos Ioakimidis. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Intellig, a company based in Athens, Greece. What I will present you today is Seabens, a cloud-based software-as-a-service solution for building energy management system that can rocket your energy and environmental savings right now. So we're talking about a software-as-a-service solution which is based on artificial intelligence algorithms and making use of cloud technology, while provides remote control of multi-zonal HVAC and lighting for any kind of building that makes use of our own Internet of Things platform, which is very user-friendly, while monitoring and controlling multiple buildings. All this by an EPO, all this by a patent by EPO. On the problem we know very well, number one, globally, energy consumption in buildings, at the same time also reducing the CO2 emissions. More in concrete, 25% lower installation cost, also 40% of energy saving because of the use of AI, while we also provide CO2 emissions calculator while being selected by EU. Now, the revenue model is based on the license fee plus a hardware price if it is needed, and a percentage on the energy savings on billing. All this for different kinds of clients, including any kind of owner and manager. Now, we have been able to get pilots in the beginning that they became afterwards clients. So 10 clients in 4 countries, now 30 buildings, public and private ones, and recently signed a multi-year contract. At the same time, we have been selected in programs like the GovTech one, as well as GovTech Connects and national ones. We are looking for 900,000 K to be able to establish ourselves in these 4 countries, as I mentioned before, as well to grow further and faster and become a global company. Now, we have a very experienced team combining experience and youth talent while we have also excellent mentors. We have been able to collaborate with universities, research institutions, and companies. But even more, as I mentioned before, we are looking forward for the 900K to establish ourselves, grow further and faster, become a global player, where we are looking for strategic partnerships with companies in the telco, construction, hotel, energy, industry, and so on. More details in the QR code that you can see here. Thank you very much. Enjoy your time at COP.
Christos has been a delight and quite a live wire in our pre-COP preparations, and so it's been great to get to know him and the team. And what you'll find is that within the cohort of companies, that they might be actually looking to speak to the same people, but with complementary products. And that's one of the benefits of this program, is teaming up together to meet the same target client. So, the last two presentations, where we will go, stick in Europe, and we will go to Lithuania, where someone who takes his passion and background in engineering and came up with a different way that buildings might be heated. So please welcome to the stage Dimitri Ionescu.
So hello, my name is Dmitry, and my company Light Mirror is bringing sunlight to a hospital to reduce their heating need. We have developed this kind of reflective panel that we put on the roof of building to redirect sunlight from the roof to the windows of building and to bring more light inside of the room and reduce specifically the heating needs. We have been awarded several prizes and funding from ClimateTech European Commission, and also we were in the top 50 future net zero company of PwC. So why sunlight is very important in healthcare building? First, it reduces the patient length of stay and improves the recovery. It has been proven by several studies, and for example, for COVID, it reduced the length of stay by up to 31% between south and north facade of the same hospital building. Then it reduced the lighting. So lighting is approximately 7% of the energy consumption during the day for hospital. And heating, especially in Northern Europe, it's around 50% of the energy consumption of hospital. And hospitals are the most energy-consuming type of building, of public building specifically. And for example, in Poland, it consumes 6 times more than the current EU standard for hospital. We are implemented in Lithuania, and we also have subsidiary in Poland, and we have ongoing projects in Ukraine and in Berlin, in Germany. We are now looking for expanding to new countries. We already have contact with hospitals in all the countries in blue, and we have talked with government from all the country in magenta. So how do we process? First, when we met a client, we just need his address. So like, if you want to give me your address, I can make you for free study about the solar potential and potential placement of our panel. Then we will come on site to make visit, measurement, and precise plan for you to apply for building permit, construction work permit. And after, if needed, we are organizing the installation with local construction company. And finally, in some case, we also need to retrofit the building because it needs several critical renovation. So we can also carry that kind of thing or find partner in the city where you live. So you can scan the QR code and send us your address, or you can also help us by scanning the QR code and voting for us for the best green tech startup of Central Europe zone for Global Startup Award. So I'm Dimitri, my co-founder Alexandra is Ukrainian, and she got the EIT Red Kalina Prize last week of the best Ukrainian entrepreneur of the year.
Well done. Brilliant, Dimitri. And there's one stat that really struck out for me. Anyone in healthcare looking at the 41% reduction in patient length of stay? That is gold dust to anyone in healthcare. And great that this is part of the team who's winning awards left, right, and centre. So well done. Vice Minister, obviously, there's lots of conversations to have afterwards with your own team. Good. Right, so the final presentation. Over to New Zealand, where we have actually someone who joined our program last year as well. And it was a joy to get to know Chris and Sarah in Egypt. And Sarah hopped off the plane from New Zealand late last night and has joined us, recognizing the value of the connections and the networks that you meet at COP. So please welcome to the stage Sarah Smith.
Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you. Ko Ngāti Manu taku hapu, ko Ngāpui taku iwi, ko Sarah taku ingoa. Kia ora everyone, I'm Sarah and I'm the founder of Circular. Now, circular materials, sustainable alternatives and low emission products, we all want these, don't we? Yet, I bet how many people here have purchased something believing it was sustainable, but behind the scenes it was something else. I know I'm not the only one who has had these problems. Oops. There we go. You see, previously I was a global innovation team leader for H&M, and my job was to travel around the world trying to find global innovations and circular materials and sustainable recycled materials for our industry. And what really surprised me is that there was not a shortage of recycled materials and innovations that could beat our waste problem, but they all shared a reoccurring problem. You see, despite our growing waste concerns, these companies struggle to get the waste or feedstock needed to scale. And without traceability, it was hard to prove product sustainability, leaving these companies being exposed to greenwashing claims. And so that's why we created Circular. Now, Circular is a B2B platform that helps businesses measure, trade, track and report on their Scope 3 emissions. We help businesses and governments collaborate on circular outcomes, reduce emissions, improve sustainability throughout their supply chain. You can think of Circular like a Tinder for waste. We're an AI matchmaking platform that connects the dots throughout the supply chain. We create traceability on your life cycle analysis. We connect feedstocks at scale to businesses that need it. And we automate opportunities. We understood that the industries were overlapping with the resources, and there was no simple way to connect circularity between them. And it was a really big problem, and that's why we've started in the energy and construction sector. You see, the energy building materials market size by 2030 will be $951 billion. And by 2050, 50% of the carbon emissions are going to come from embodied carbon. So now, more than ever, it's so important to know what your materials are. We see Circular being on the forefront of sustainability, connecting finance institutions to governments and new businesses. Our business is 18 months old, and in the first 18 months, we have had a lot of traction. We've had a lot of interest globally, and in the past year, we've spent our time traveling overseas a lot, and we're very proud to have our first global partnerships on board, and that is with Saint-Gobain. And we'll be working on looking at opportunities within Singapore and Malaysia, and also with Commonwealth Bank in Australia. So our ask today is that we're looking for partnerships and connections with global enterprises and government agencies, and we're currently raising $1 million to grow our team and expand our global reach. So thank you very much. Ngā mihi nui, thank you.
Sarah, thank you. And just to say that I know that you've left your family at home, and having growing this business over the past 18 months with a family of 4 young kids is testing incredible. So well done, and great to have you back here. The Tinder for trash, that's one to remember. So As a wrap up, thank you all so much for giving up your time today and watching online. And this is what this is about. This is about collaboration between governments and entrepreneurs. So at the end of day 2, we've seen cultivated meat, water management, business management systems, tender for trash, and wetlands and bees, to name a few. It's a spectrum, all of which have the opportunity to address the challenges we face with climate change. So if you want to find out more, you can come to our website, visit, and we'll be putting all the presentations, the videos up. But these are scalable, investable opportunities. And finally, my thanks to, obviously, the Government of Scotland, who has been co-funding this, Innovate UK, South Australia, and the GovTech Lab, Lithuania. And also to the event production team, who do a great job in putting this stuff on, and Gurjit and Kata. So from here, live in Dubai, COP28, my name is Alexander Holt, and it's been an absolute joy to be with you all today and yesterday here at the Island of Hope in the Climate Action Innovation Zone. Thank you all, and goodbye.